So I had always like felt a little different and stuff. I noticed that when my friends, like I always seem kind of annoying to my friends, like a lot, and I could never focus. I've never really been able to focus. It's gotten to the point of like tears where I try to like do my math homework or something and I just can't. And I've always been able to make, like in class, if I couldn't focus, I've always been like very obedient. So like the teacher never really looked at me and noticed me for that stuff, because ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. I have ADHD, and a thing that comes with that is like bad insomnia. I've always had insomnia, and I probably just make it worse by looking at screens and stuff. I have to take sleeping pills, melatonin. So falling asleep's difficult no matter what. It's not really fun, you know, tuning out and having people think you don't care about what they're saying. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. It's like my mind kind of drifts off, but I have to like, it's really hard to keep track. So like I can do it sometimes, but not always. Like yeah, I feel like my friends are like, they think I'm annoying, and then they invite me places out of pity. There was like this bonfire thing that I was invited to, and I was really glad that I was invited. We were like all sitting around in a big circle, like all 30 of us, and we were talking about stuff, and it was like my turn to talk about it, right? And as I'm talking, I realize I'm going on for like a little bit longer than everyone else. But while I'm talking, some like other people, they just start talking like across the thing, and I was like, and then everyone else starts talking, and I was like, I wasn't done. I was all right, and then I just kind of stopped. Talking to people's scary. I've got like one friend that I can like talk to about personal issues. Like she's really nice. But if I were to talk about like my other friends, they just say like oof or something like that.
Well, what the heck?
You're another version of me.
I'm not another version of you. You're another version of me.
This kid's got a big ego.
Wait, do I have to let my cat out? Yeah, 1 second. I gotta let my cat out.
Are you laughing at his body suspended?
This is why Ready Player 1 would never work in Red. It's not at all how it would be.
I'm back.
Hyper-realistic Ready Player 1 would have been a masterpiece. It would have been better than like E.T. or Jurassic Park, so we get some generic fantasy thing. Like, look, take off your headset again. Just show us that animation. It would be like a psychological thriller. It's like clipping into the bench.
I am like 4'9", 4'10", and that's really bad for a 15-year-old. When I'm walking, you'd probably think of me as like a 10-year-old. You'd probably think I was like 10 or 11. And most of my friends now, they don't get asked if they need a kids menu, but I do. I know that's not a big thing, but it just like lets me look into the public perception of me, like when I just go about my daily life.
We know that on the kids menu. You're saving money.
We had to leave and move to Texas for some family issues, but back then, I've always had long hair. I had really long hair up until like 6 months ago, and when I went into high school, I said they're gonna be really mean to me. The kids were just ruthless. Like everywhere I went, I heard people saying like, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And they'd call me other things that I don't want to say. But I remember when I went home that day, because we were living with my cousins, I just ran to the back shed, and I just cried there for a bit. My mom told my uncle about it, and he took me to this place called Whataburger, which is really good. And basically, that while I was there, he basically said it was kind of my fault for that happening, for all those kids saying mean things. Basically saying, you know, if you got a cool haircut, I don't really think that would happen. You know, I mean, you do. Yeah, my hair didn't look the best, but I mean, I don't really think it was cool to say that. I still love my uncle, but I don't know.
What would you have wanted him to have told you there?
I don't know, that, like, just say that, like, kids are gonna be mean sometimes, and, you know, just things will get better. Lunch was the worst part, you know, people from across the cafeteria, like, "Hey, are you a guy or a girl?" And, you know, stuff like that. And, like, it felt like the entire cafeteria was looking at me.
Maybe you should join a motorcycle gang.
You know, I might, you know, get my switchblade out,
because then
cruising for a bruising.
You've got a bunch of people who care about your well-being. It's like a band of brothers kind of thing.
I already got one of those.
Talking about us?
Yeah.
Is there something behind us?
I don't like motorcycles. My mom's ex-boyfriend died on a motorcycle. I know his dad because my mom still talks to him. He's like sort of like a dad to my mom, and he's sort of like my grandfather, even though he's not.
So you would never buy a Harley?
This one kid in particular, I forget what his name was, but he was a senior. He's like, "What's up, Freshy?" And he wanted to give me a handshake. I didn't know what to do, alright? So he gave me a handshake, and he just like squeezed my hand into oblivion. I legitimately thought my hand was going to break. I could see him actually struggling to squeeze my hand. Like, I could see his like face getting red. Like, he was legitimately trying to like break my hand, I think. My hand hurt so bad, I almost cried in the hall.
It's like a super villain origin story.
I liked this one girl, like, for, like, a couple months. And then later, I found out that she liked me for, like, a week. And I was like, so that's a win in my book. I'm just gonna be happy that somebody actually liked me once. I'm really self-conscious about my height and my voice. Because, like, this, you know, this does not sound like a 15-year-old's voice.
Danny DeVito's really short and has a strange voice, and he's like a sex symbol. I think you have a legal case against CBS, because I feel like they're using elements of your life story on their hit show, Young Sheldon.
Like, I try to be funny sometimes, and I feel like if I'm not funny, then what's the purpose of, like, knowing me? Like, in a lot of my times, my jokes, they're not funny at all. Like, my jokes absolutely suck.
Tell us a joke.
That's called gotcha journalism.
They all laughed and looked at me, and I was just like, I'm not gonna deal with this anymore. I'm not gonna deal with the constant kids at my school being mean to me and everyone in general, you know. Ever since I got there, I wanted to be homeschooled, because we had always kind of thought about homeschool, and then eventually one day we're just like, let's do it. And then I was set on it. And then a week later, no, I don't want to do homeschool. Definitely not. And then a week later, yes, I do want to do homeschool. And it really just went back and forth until one day I'm like, yep, I want to do homeschool. I know my brain's going to say, no, you don't, but I'm just going to stick with this answer because I've rationalized it. And then when my mom called, said to pull me out of school, the principal was like, no, he's not going to do that. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And she's like, he's not going to be there tomorrow. It's his first day of homeschool. And yeah, I've never heard from that principal again, and I kind of feel bad because he was just a nice principal.
Aren't you worried that you're going to miss out on certain important life experiences from being homeschooled?
That did cross my mind, but, you know, VR is a way to escape, you know? Like, I can be a frog. Kermit was literally my childhood hero. When I was, like, 6, for 2 hours, I got pieces of paper and built a fully functioning Kermit puppet that I loved. And I made 2 more out of cloth. Kermit just reminds me of, like, me when I was, like, younger, happier. I don't know. I really like Kermit. I've always liked puppets and stuff like that. When I was younger, I wanted to be a puppeteer. I got an old YouTube channel of me with my puppets. There's a picture of me sitting around with all of my puppets. I don't know, I just really like Kermit. You know, I can make friends in VR, and they might treat me a bit differently based on my voice, but they won't treat me differently based on my height, based on the way I look. It's really, I'd say, the closest form of anonymity that isn't anonymous you could get. Like, where people still know you. Kids don't know what I look like. For all they know, I am a swashbuckling bachelor, you know?
I don't think anyone thinks that. No one on vrchat is a swashbuckling bachelor.
If you could tell everyone in the world one thing, what would it be?
If somebody hates you, stab them with an asbestos-covered knife and take out their kneecaps.
Okay, that
No
is...
wonder people don't like him very much.